the next comment or question comes from at ABC456F. I am trying to understand the relationship between input gain and the post fader gain. I know the input gain is acting first in the chain, and the post fader is after EQ, compression, FX, etc. Just not sure when and how much to use one or the other or both. Thanks. Okay. If you have an audio track and you are concerned about whether or not you need to adjust the gain of that track or the post gain of the track, then it just depends on what you're trying to go for. So I always try to think about every track starts basically from the top going down. All right. So the last thing that's going down is the fader. And then all the way at the top is the gain. So the gain is your overall kind of like trim level is what you may use on some mixers. It's your trim level for your vocal. All right. So everything else that comes after that can be affected. So like if you add more effects, you add plugins, compression, all that good stuff like that, it will make the track a lot louder. Now you can bring the fader down if you want to. That works, but you can also adjust the gain here. Now, if you're dealing with post, for instance, if I'm using a Pro Channel EQ, let's just record something real quick. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to set up right. First things first, let's make sure that I have this on the right channel for input. Input, I'm going to make it to input 1. All right. I'm going to turn the metronome off. I don't need it. We're just going to talk today because I can't sing. My voice is like almost gone. Yeah, you know, sometimes I think that I should just, you know, talk and nothing more. All right. All right. So now that I recorded that, yeah, you know, sometimes I think that I should just, you know, talk and nothing more. Okay. So I have this audio. And say, for instance, I have this post on. So let's talk about what post means. So post means everything after this FX or before the FX rack. And so I can also do post for like sends if I'm sending. So like if I wanted to send this track to another track or to another bus, like a stereo bus, then I can create a bus for it. I've done it already. And maybe on this bus, I've got all of my vocals going to bus D. And on bus D, I've got, you know, I don't know. I've just got some compression or something like that. Let's just add one effect to it. Let's do dynamics and let's just do the CLA 76 mono. Okay. All right. So I've added the CLA 76. All right. Doesn't come with Cakewalk because waves, of course, you know already. But I've added this plugin to bus D. Now, track 1 is going to bus D. So whatever happens on bus D will affect track 1 as well as any track I have to go to bus D. Now, I can have it set where it's post the fader. All right. And this is probably what you're meaning. I don't know if this is what you're meaning or not, but hopefully this is what you're meaning. Otherwise, I'm talking about nothing. But in like for bus D, there is a send level. And this is kind of like a volume level. This is telling me how much signal I'm sending to the bus. And then this post is post the fader. All right. If I have it pre-fader, that means no matter what I do to this fader on channel 1 or track 1, the signal does not change at all. Like it's going to go, whatever I send to bus D is still going to be the same. If I put it on post the fader, then that means if I turn the fader down here, it's going to also affect the signal that's going to bus D. All right. And I'll show you what I mean. So good. You don't hear anything, right? Got the fader turned down. So let me turn it back up. And nothing more. All right. All right. And let's, yeah, you know, sometimes I think that I should just, you know, talk and nothing more. All right. Okay. So we got it going in. I know it's getting a signal. Yeah, sometimes I think that I should just, talk and nothing more. Okay, that's with it off. With it on. Okay, you get a big difference. So now this bus D is being affected, right? Did you notice that when I turned the post on, that, listen. Yeah. Okay, the post is on. Now you hear nothing. Just, talk. But if I turn the pre and nothing more, I can turn that fader down and it's still going to get signal. Now this may be helpful for you. So pre and post, no matter what I do, the gain is going to affect everything. The gain is king, right? If I turn this gain all the way down, you're not going to hear a thing, all right? No, sometimes. I mean, you'll hear a little bit, but you won't hear much, okay? I'll put it like that. I mean, you will hear something. But level-wise, this is king, right? And then the fader is just something like the finishing touch. But gain can also affect the overall sound of the track. So if you have the gain too hot, it can sound distorted. And no matter how much you bring the fader up or down, it still might sound distorted. If you have the gain too low, you may hear the noise to the signal to noise ratio may be affected, meaning that your signal may be here and you might be hearing a lot of noise too as well. That's why whenever you're recording vocals going into Cakewalk or any DAW for that matter, you should have your gain level staged properly so you're getting less noise in the level, like the under level. I'm sorry if that makes sense. You know what I mean. Somebody out there knows what I mean. Say it in the comments. All right. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah. So post is only really dealing with sending to bus or certain effects. It's dealing with effects. So like the post right here, if I put on this EQ, the Pro Channel EQ, click it, let's enable it, and let's say, I don't know, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going, let's say that's what I want it to sound like, right? And is this turned on? I believe it is. Let's go to the top. Okay, so it is on, and yeah, okay, and that sounds horrible, very horrible. Okay, you just heard that, but let's keep it there for a second. All right, let's uncheck that. We have our effects chosen, and they sound horrible. Let's talk about the other pre and post that's up here. So there's a pre-post for the Pro channel. Once you add it, and it says post or pre-post the FX rack. The FX rack is right down here, okay? So any effects that I add right here, this is saying that if I have it set on pre, which means it's unchecked, then that means that anything on the Pro channel will come before the FX chain, all right? If I put it on post, that means it's going to come after the FX bin or right here, if that makes sense. So that's just the routing of it all, and it might help. This is a really good question, so I hope this is helpful to you. Please let me know.